everybody. Well, today we're doing a video about something a little bit different than I usually do, for the most part. And basically, I have a new project, actually, well, technically two projects, I guess, sitting here in front of me. And I'll show you them right now. So as you can see, I have two John Deere push mowers in front of me. And, I'll just start off with telling you the model of each of them. This one's a 14SB. If you can read it. It's kind of faded on this poor thing. And this is a JX75. So basically what I'm going to be doing with these, as you can see, they're not in the greatest looking condition as of right now. But believe it or not, that one there actually was last, it ran before. And I actually got the fire the other day on some carb cleaner. And it actually ran for a few seconds. So, but what I'm going to be doing is taking two mowers, these two, and making one good one out of it. And the one I'm going to be making the good one is the JX75. One, because it's more horsepower. That one's 6, this one's what, 4.5, I think? Yeah, you can just read it right here. 4.5. And this one also has few problems as far as holes in the deck. So, which is kind of strange because usually aluminum, since they're aluminum, I'm not sure how they got holes in them. The only thing I can think of is they like a rock punched up through them or something. It's hard to say, but the deck on this one's perfect. There's no holes or nothing in it. Underneath of this cover here, stupid keys in my pocket. Underneath the cover here, it looks like that. All it is the paint just flaking off. But it's solid as a rock. That might be a little bit here, maybe. I'm not sure that's the way that's supposed to be or not. It might be. I'm not positive on that one. But it does have a transmission. I actually didn't even know that. I kind of figured it did. But the story with this one is it doesn't have the clutch, the blade clutch. Something's wrong with it. Actually, it's in the back of my truck. What's left of it, it's pretty rusted up. But luckily, that one has a blade clutch on it, and it seems like it functions properly. Because if you push the lever down and you push this forward, if I can do it with one hand. Well, one, it does engage. I can tell. And if you pull it, the blade turns, and then as soon as you let go, that works correctly. And the blade stops turning if you try pulling it again. So it seems to be functioning, and this one, the transmission seems good. This one I can't test yet because there's no belt on it, but I'm pretty sure I should be able to get, and like I said, it just looks messy, but it will clean right up, I know it will. And what I plan on doing with this is I'm going to, well, after I get it running and everything swapped over that I need from the 14SB, this one has a good starter recoil on it. It's like perfect. The rope and everything's fine. It doesn't sound like it has any compression or anything because there's no plug in it. So for some reason they took that's the thing with what I don't get with people. They took the plug out of it and then they cut the spark plug wire. So, but luckily this one's got a plug that's actually pretty new and a spark plug wire for the coil, or the, So, as far as that goes, I should be able to easily get two mowers, or two mowers and make one. So, and this is one I like the most as far as model-wise, just because I don't know how they look. They look the same. One's just silver and one's green. But like I said, this one has more horsepower. And overall is in pretty good shape. And this one you can actually read all the stuff on here. It's just really dusty. And this has kind of lost its paint, but I can sand that off, clean, and repaint again, and it should look pretty good. The underneath of it, both of them are pretty gross, like they haven't been cleaned, but luckily, since they're aluminum, there is no problem with that. So I'm not even sure what this is for. Oh, let's see. That's how the blade clutch engages. That's kind of neat. And you can actually adjust it here too. But I've been looking for these mowers, for one of these, for quite a while, and a friend of mine knows of a place about half an hour from here almost, that the guy has had these sitting there for, I'm not really sure how long either of these have been sitting. I'm going to say that one's been sitting longer, just by how faded everything is on it. I mean, both the tops of them are faded, but that's just common. But by how faded that one is, and this one's not as bad, so I don't think this one's set quite as long. I mean, you can't tell. But this thing still has gas in it, and it reeks really bad. Not a whole lot, but it stinks. But it has good oil in it, as far as it's not low. It's pretty gross. It's black, but it's full, which is good. So, and I did put the plug in it from that one in it the other day, just to pull it over, and it has pretty good compression still. I'm not sure if these motors have decompression or not. I'm sure they do, because it still pulled over pretty easily, but it's just about the same as that one. So the little bit I did have that one running actually didn't. It sounded good, so I should have two good motors. But like I said, I'm using this one anyway. But what I'm gonna switch over is the blade clutch from that one to this one. The what else? Mostly that's actually, if I can think of it, that's about it. Pretty much just the blade clutch and the belt. Oh, and the fuel tank, because I think this one leaks. But what I'm going to do first, and I'm going to try to record as much of it as I can, is take the carb off of the 14SB, clean it, put it back on, and possibly I might have to put this fuel line over. This one's actually pretty new. But put that fuel line over on that, just if that one's going to keep leaking. So far it hasn't leaked anymore on that. So that's what I plan on doing. Getting that one running, make sure the clutch is fine the way I think it is. Make sure the transmission's actually good. And then once I know of that, I'll start switching stuff over to this one. As far as probably just put the coil on, or the spark plug wire and everything on this one. And put the recoil back on this. The recoil on that one's about to snap, the string, the rope. It's pretty much, I bet you if I pulled it 2 more times or so, it'd probably break. It's pretty bad. But put this one on there just for temporary, just to make sure it's alright. Put the coil on this one, and then it should be pretty good. Make sure it's not leaking oil, which it might be leaking a little bit of something here, but honestly my Honda has the same thing from the governor, so it's not bothering me too much. But overall, I've actually never looked underneath the that's pretty tight, underneath the air filter cover on this one. I looked on the other one. I'm going to obviously change these whenever I get this one running. I'm not even positive this one's going to run, but I'm assuming there's a filter in here. It better be. Yeah, there is. It's pretty disgusting. But what I'm probably going to do, since I'm going to clean the carburetor on that one, I'm just going to put it on this one. Since they're the same thing, which is pretty nice. That's why it's nice to have interchangeable motors that are interchangeable. But for the most part, the wheels on this one, just tighten up for now. The wheels on this one are in good shape. This one's just missing the cover, but that one has quite a few on it. And all the wheels on this one actually look fairly new, which is nice. So I don't think this one either had a lot of use or it has new wheels. You can't really tell. But the thing I love about these things, and this one actually still has the, I can't remember what it's called. That one's missing. So, but the thing I love about these is you can actually grease the wheels on these, and even my very expensive Honda mower, I cannot do that with, which is kind of stupid, but it's the way it is now. But I think once I'm done, this thing will be pretty nice. Like I said, I'm just going to repaint the parts that need it, because I don't want to get rid of stuff like this and this, because that might be the same one that's actually on the tractors. If it is, I might buy a new one of those, maybe. But I don't even think you can get the front all this anymore. So whenever I clean that off, I'm going to have to be really careful and probably do it by hand. And also I have to fix the height adjuster, because I think, no, it must be that one that's stuck. But all in all, I think I got a pretty good machine. I've wanted one of these for years. I actually wanted one of these before I even bought the Honda that I have. And I think whenever it's done, it'll be a nice push mower to use. We don't technically need a push mower. It's really have the other two Hondas, and then we have these two. But like I said, it's only gonna be one out of this whenever I'm done, and then take whatever parts are left of that one and probably just unfortunately scrap the deck, because it's probably all right the way it is, but even the underneath of it's kind of, I mean, it'd be fine for a long time the way it is, I'm sure. But I mean, if anybody needs any parts, let me know. But like you can see, the wheels on that one are pretty much bald on the back, so I'll probably take those off and just throw them away. But the front ones look pretty good still. I'll probably keep them. And actually, the handlebar on that one's in pretty good shape still. This one, I'm pretty sure, I never even noticed that's got to be fixed, because that's not supposed to do that. That might be, this cable might actually be seized. When I end up taking, you can see this one's already missing the throttle and the speed control, but it's actually sitting over here. But I took it off because that needed a throttle cable, because that one was seized, which is sitting there on the floor. So that's why that one's already been switched. I'm going to put that back on that one anyway. But this is just to make sure this one runs fine. Just to make sure the motor is good. I don't want to keep the motor around if it's no good. But like I said, it did run. A little bit I had it running, it sounded good. But it didn't want to stay running, because it's not going to run on old fuel and starter fluid, or carb cleaner only. So, but overall, I think they're in pretty good shape. Kind of. But like I said, there's parts between the two to get a good one, and I think it'll be pretty nice. But like I said, I want to make sure this one runs. If for some reason this one just does not want to run, like there's something more wrong with it than I realize, then I guess I'm gonna have to put that motor on this one. Which, if that happens, that's the way it is. But I'd rather keep that motor on this mower if I can. But once I know that's all good, I'm going to probably take the bars off, take them in the house or somewhere, sand them down and repaint them. Because it's a little bit wore here, but it's pretty obvious from holding it all the time. And obviously the transmission's not hooked up. But I'm not sure why. But that's the nice thing about having two of them. I can look at parts on each of them and see why something's the way it is and fix it. So here's this is a little bit tight, but it does engage. You can actually see it down there tightening the belt. So that works the way it's supposed to. So the throttle now moves. Actually, that's the speed control. But it all works. And the throttle now works. Not like it did before. But it's a little bit sticky, but I'm going to be cleaning the carb like I said. But the cool thing about this one is, the other reason why I definitely want to keep this one, one, because it's the model I like the most, and two, because of this, it still has the original dealer tag on it, which is, I think is pretty neat. Let's see, where's this thing from? Trying to see. Well, Pittsburgh, obviously, but I have to look that up to see where that is exactly. I think I have an idea where, but I'm gonna have to look. And the original tag on it's still pretty good. So whenever I clean everything off, I have to just make sure that is protected, and I don't accidentally. I'm not gonna probably get near that anyways, but pretty much I'd have to just sand here. It shouldn't be that bad, but all in all, I think these are going to be good machines. Well, one. And hopefully it doesn't take a lot to get this one running. I don't think it's going to. I just can't believe somebody cut the plug wire on it. I don't know. Who knows? But anyways, this is just the introduction for this project. Oh, the other thing I like about these ones is how this is embossed on them. I think that's pretty neat. But there's no way to... Oh, actually, no, I'm gonna end up breaking that if I try taking it off. But I just think that's cool with these, how this is raised. I kind of wish that one was that way, but just a little bit different style. But anyways, this is just like I said, the introduction for this project, and hopefully by the time it's over with, we got a nice mower sitting in front of us. And I'll be able to use it next year and try to get a little bit of video of push mower with it. Like I said, I've never used one of these particular models before, and from what I've done research-wise and looked up and all that, I know they're great machines, and there's people around that still use them like crazy. So I guess for the next part, we'll be doing the carburetor cleaning on that one. So hopefully you enjoy this series and stay tuned for the next part.